Today I've ventured out to what was RAF Lichfield and I'm on the hunt for some World War II pillboxes. So let's get cracking. RAF Lichfield began its life in mid-1939 and became operational in early 1940. Known locally as Fradley Aerodrome, the airfield was of typical construction with 3 runways, the largest of which was 1.46 kilometres in length. RAF Lichfield was the busiest aerodrome in Staffordshire during the Second World War, and in its early life was used to fit out aircraft before active service. The site also trained aircrew for bombers, preparing them for frontline operations. A number of bombers flew from the airfield on the Cologne raid in May 1942, and our search today is to try and locate some of the surviving airfield defences. So I've come onto the Coventry Canal, which flanks the northern side of what was RAF Lichfield, and I think I've already spied the first pillbox. It's just in those bushes behind me here. So let's go and have a look. First of all, we've got to cross the canal. Now I've only just crossed the and I've actually just seen another pillbox, which is so well camouflaged with grass and branches and so forth that I actually had to look twice to find it. And you know what I'm like with pillboxes. So this looks like a sort of small square pillbox. So let's go in and have a nose. Well, I was definitely wrong. It's not a square pillbox. It seems to be some form of hexagon. Let's go inside and have a nose. So we're inside the pillbox now. I was wrong, it's not hexagonal. It's actually got 3 embrasures. There's 2 here and 1 just over there. And then this wall's completely straight. Now, the headroom isn't that great in here. It has a concrete roof rather than having kind of corrugated steel on the top. And you can see that this pillbox has been constructed as per the usual way with wooden battens being built up and concrete poured in. What's really interesting is the presence of the 3 metal embrasures. This is something you don't see particularly often, and these seem to be in fairly good condition. But yeah, nice little pillbox. This is a complete surprise because I didn't realise this was here, and it just goes to show you, if you've got a bit of a sort of sixth sense for these things, then you never know what you're going to find. Although this isn't a conventional stop line, what they've done here at RAF Lichfield is actually use the canal as a barrier or obstacle, if you will, for the enemy to not be able to move their tanks over a body of water. This bridge would also more than likely have been rigged for explosion, and there would have been roadblocks in place as well. Utilising a fabulous resource called EDOB, an interactive online map developed by Matt Aldred, we've been able to discover that a 3rd pillbox once resided in this location. It seems to have been lost in 2020 and would have been located here. Well, I'm proud to say that my eyes have not deceived me, and we do indeed have another pillbox here. So we're going to go in, take a look. It seems to be the same design as the one just literally across the road there. So it's like a kind of mirror image of that pillbox, same construction. It looks like the same number of embrasures. So let's go have a nose. Now, I got really excited when I came in here because I saw loads of telephone cables, but they seem to be much more modern than I'd have hoped, which is a shame. But there must have been some way that they communicated with the actual airfield from here. We know that battle HQs, and in particular the cantilever pillboxes, did have field telephones in, so I'm sure they'd have had some form of communication device in here. Now, this is actually slightly different to the pillbox across the way. Rather than having 3 embrasures, this one actually has 4, and it has 1 that actually faces back towards the airfield, interestingly enough. And the reason why that's interesting is it's a good talking point, because there was this huge fear that the enemy would land troops actually on the airstrip. So when you see things like cantilever pillboxes that offer 360-degree protection, that's why. And of course, why you have a battle HQ as well. Just as well as the Hamilton picket forts, of course, and Alan Williams turrets. There's all these fantastic defences. I get very excited, I know, but there we go. There are remnants in here as well of where the actual shelves were. So you do have some of the wooden battens on this side of the wall. Other than that, it's full of the usual Detroitish beer cans. Dom would be impressed because it's Stella, Red Bull, and loads of telephone cable as well. And in the corner, interestingly enough, which is something I've only just spotted, is actually a drain. And I don't think I've actually ever seen a drain in a pillbox before, and makes total sense because of course he's filled with water. But also, we have the canal only a few feet that side of us. We do have a little stream that side of us as well. So whoever built this must have thought, might be a good idea to have a drain in here. So nice little touch.
Venturing south along the canal, I come to another road bridge, and sensing that there must be another pillbox nearby, I find this. Now this is huge in the pillboxing world, roughly twice the size of a Type 24, with no internal blast wall and several embrasures.
So as you can see, actually inside the pillbox now, and although it's actually divided into two halves, it's actually quite spacious in comparison to normal pillboxes because there's no blast wall. As you can see, I'm actually having to duck because I can't actually stand up in here. If I stand up fully, my head is resting on the ceiling. So this is about 5'11" tall. So it's not the nicest place to be in. But as you guys can probably see, the actual embrasures have still got all the metal work around for the shutters, which is really rare. So that's one of the first times I've really ever seen that. So it's pretty cool.
Less than 50 yards from this pillbox, I find another structure. And on first glance, I thought it was either a seagull trench or even another pillbox, but I was wrong on both counts. It's an air raid shelter.
So we've just arrived at our next location. This one, as you can see, is still here. So let's get inside and take a look.
So I've actually ventured inside this air raid shelter, and there's not much inside other than the usual rubbish and detritus, but there are two original anti-tank cylinders in here as well, which is pretty amazing. So someone's obviously rolled these in here at some point, but that tells us there was a roadblock nearby as well. So you never know what you're going to find inside these bunkers. It's always worth a look.
Nowadays, the site is largely occupied by a housing estate and Fradley Park, a large industrial estate. Little of the actual airfield remains now, but if you know where to look, then you are bound to find something. As the construction juggernaut of HS2 rolls into town, the future of historical sites just like this are under threat more than ever. But it's our mission to catalogue as many of them as we can. RAF Lichfield closed in 1958, and the memory of those people who worked here will be remembered forever.
And so concludes our little hunt around what was RAF Lichfield, and we finish with this, a huge slab of concrete, which was, and I suppose still is for that matter, an anti-tank cylinder. Thanks ever so much for joining me on this little journey. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon as well, and even consider joining our members club from as little as £1 and help support the channel to grow for the future. But until next time, keep history alive.